It is time. It's time to stop hiding. It's time to stand up. It's time for Christians to come together, to work together, to share their testimony, to inspire hope, to inspire others, and to join their brothers and sisters as we answer the call. It's time to wake up the lions. I want to thank you folks for joining me today for this solo episode, this Sunday selection. The idea behind these, and we're gonna get better and better at them as we go. The idea behind these is to pull something out of the Bible and do some practical application into our lives. Today is not that, so I want to just give you that little heads up right away. Today is free thought from me based on a lot of our interviews we've had and some revelations that have come to me lately. This entire podcast is me sharing my calling about fighting spiritual warfare at every turn, at every cost, about encouraging Christians to stand up and to just announce their faith and be proud, not to hate on someone else, not to put anyone else down, but to just stand up and be proud of what you believe and why and how. To talk about building discipleship, to talk about spreading the word, to talk about using that compound effect where, all the little things that you do add up to really big things. That's what this podcast has been about. And as I have these revelations, as these things come to me, um, I'm going to share them here because this is, my outlet to let you know what I'm working on, what I'm trying to get others to help me work on, the mission that we're all on. And I have just been washed over lately, and and I mean washed over, overcome, flooded, filled with this mission that we're on. More and more and more people are waking up and are coming on board and are saying, I'm ready to share my testimony. I'm ready to help other people. I have people who come on the show and they interview and they give their testimony. They talk about everything. It's a great episode. And then they're contacting me later and they're saying, Rory, I just want you to know I did this. I went out and I talked to somebody. You were so right about building discipleship. This felt so fantastic. It's happening. We just started this a short time ago and it's happening already. I am incredibly impressed with the power that the Lord's put out for all of us to go out there and take hold of it and to follow his lead and his guide and his word. None of this is me. Every single thing that's going on here on this podcast is God working through me in some capacity. I've never felt more connected to that in my life than I do now and at times like this. When I'm talking about this, when I'm on this podcast, when I'm behind this microphone. He gave me this gift to be able to speak. He gave me the ability to talk to people through podcasting, and I have to use that in order to get this message out. What I'm finding, in addition to the unbelievable support we have, is the unbelievable resistance we're encountering too. And it's been amazing to me to hear these accounts from our guests, to hear the some of the reaction that we get from folks, online and things like that. Now, you would think that it would be the normal hate. Of course, I get that all the time. I'm used to that. But again, not again, this time, it's not. An awful lot of the resistance is coming from our brothers and sisters. An awful lot of the resistance to having an individual relationship with Jesus is coming from other Christians. And it's this ridiculous separation that we have in this religion, so to speak, in this faith. I read somewhere there's over 280 different, Christian religions out there, and we are spending all of our time fighting with each other. This church in Alabama and this church in Missouri have been at odds for weeks over one different line in their rules for their parishes in terms of how they view a particular line in the Bible. And I'm like, I'm looking at this and I'm reading this and I'm hearing stories about how people have gone to their pastor and been turned away, or pastors have said, well, we don't want to help with that, or they've tried to, you know, share their message and had other Christians say, well, that's not right. You're quoting the Bible incorrectly and you should fix your message or stand down. And this week it occurred to me really hard, as if all of this flooded into me for a purpose and for a reason, because I'm talking to so many people and I'm hearing from so many people about this, that the common denominator of all this is absolutely too large to miss. A friend of mine made a post that said Christianity is the only religion wherein we eat our own. And I thought that was a little rough. I was like, wow, exactly what does that mean? I had a discussion with him. We talked about it. He was right. And as I've been doing this project, I've realized, at least in a small way, how right he is. And there's more, because it doesn't stop there. We've been talking a lot more in our episodes about spiritual warfare and how people encounter that and the forms that it takes and how it impacts us, how it comes to us, how evil tries to, get into the cracks that we leave unpatched, that we leave open, where God is supposed to shine his light if we just let him. And it occurred to me that even the communists know that one of the best ways to divide and conquer is to divide. The first thing is break something down from the inside. If you took all the people who believe in a form of Christianity in the world and you pull them all together, we outnumber everybody by, yeah, an X factor of I don't even know how much. It's absurd. And yet we will not come together. And we all want to stand on our principle and say, well, that's because we believe this is right and they're wrong and so on. You're saying that to your fellow Christians. Folks, if ever there was a cunning, diabolical, well planned dose of spiritual warfare, this is it. What does the devil want? What does evil want? Do they want us united? Do they want Christians in one army under one banner with the lions up front, clad in the armor of God, ready to rock? Heck no. That could never be defeated. The only way that Christianity loses to the devil is if we beat ourselves. This is what he wants. He doesn't want all these churches across the nation, across the world to come together. He could lose permanently if that were to happen. This is something that we have to realize. We get so caught up in our earthly trappings. We get so caught up in our pride. My goodness, folks, it's named as one of the it's named in the Bible as a sin. Pride is part of the downfall. Come on. Because my way and my religion and my church and my pastor, we're all correct. And you down the street with the same cross hanging on your building, you're wrong because of this one thing that you're doing differently. What in the world? I don't know how I didn't see it sooner. And I'm not a biblical scholar. If you call yourself a Christian, how have you not seen it? I have to ask you that question. For those of you who are biblical scholars, for those of you who are pastors, who are, who've been graduated from, college with degrees in this. I mean, you've studied this. How do all of you not know this? How do you not see this? And it hit me that maybe that's it. Because I'm a believer and I'm a lion, but I'm not an educator. I'm not, an elite. I'm a common man. I'm just a regular guy. And maybe it takes being removed from it to be able to see the big picture of what's happening. Folks, part of this mission has been to have people tell their stories. And I didn't really know why I was called to this. I thought, hey, this is great. We'll get people excited about it. It'll energize, some folks. Maybe we'll, grow some discipleship. Maybe it'll grow the religion, or Christianity or whatever it is. It's beautiful. And I said, great, let's do it. Because you don't question. You don't, when God says this is what I want you to do, you don't go, really, why? Let's talk about that for a while. when when you're called, you answer. And I did what I had to do. When I was called, I jumped into action. I took everything I already knew, I put it all into practice, and boom, bang, podcast, here we go. But wow, have my eyes been opened in a very short period of time. And now that I'm on the trail of sniffing this out, the evidence is everywhere and it's consistent everywhere. In every single interview, I'm learning more and more about it. Folks, there's spiritual warfare around us everywhere in all sorts of different methods and all sorts of different places that we would never even think to look. And one of the places they're hitting us hardest is in our own church. Now, I'm not speaking against churches. Your church is your vessel. It's your home. It's your place to go and worship safely and have that relationship and foster that relationship. And it's community. But at some point, we have to take all of these individual communities and we have to bring them together. These individual communities worldwide must unite. And I know that sounds like, oh, yeah, sure, pie in the sky. Every huge movement, every gigantic, earth changing, life changing idea starts with one thought. It starts with one step. And sometimes it starts with one person willing to say out loud what has to be said. We are beating ourselves. I used to tell my baseball teams these things. We would have the most talented guys and the hardest working guys. And, if they were all tired from a day at the beach and they went out to try and play ball, they'd beat themselves. And I'd tell them, guys, no other team in the league can beat you guys except you. And that was cute and it was nice and it was true. But we were talking about a game. This is not a game. This is as real as it gets. So I want to challenge all of you to take on this thought for just a moment. You don't need to change your church. You don't need to change your pastor. You don't have to change anything other than your own thinking. That's it. You're not going to be more or less of a Christian. You're not going to walk away from your faith. You're not going to be, going back on anything you believe in. You're going to look at it and say, what is the higher purpose? Purpose. What is our highest and best use as lions of God? Folks, it is to unite. I'm starting the call today and it's not going to stop. And I need your help to help us grow this call. We must unite the faith. Period. If we do, we cannot be defeated. If we don't, we may never win because we're beating ourselves. Please think on that. Please sit on it. Let it marinate. Have a discussion around your kitchen table. Talk to your wives, to your husbands, talk to your children, talk to your pastors. Talk amongst yourselves. Consider the idea that maybe, just maybe, we're on the cusp of something that is just absolutely world changing. And we just have to get out of our way long enough to see it. I welcome your thoughts. You all know how to reach me. Message me. I'm on all the social platforms, folks. Facebook, Instagram, at my name. There it is. It's all over the podcast. If you're listening to this, you have my name in front of you, probably 4 or 5 times. Folks, it is more important now than it ever has been. There are people out there who are very well educated, who have been deep in the faith, who are convinced that we are nearing the end of days, the end times. We don't have time to bicker about this. We don't have time to send this to committee. We don't have time to be political. Either we're together or we're not. Unite the faith. I need your help. I'm going to be asking for your help on this. I need your help. We need each other. And we need this rallying cry. Unite the faith. I hope you take into consideration. I really do, because it is time. It's time to wake up the lions. More than that, it's time for you and me and every Christian out there to take our rightful place with our brothers and sisters and let everyone hear us roar. The world is ready. This is our time. You're ready. And it's time to believe it.